Hello everyone, I'm Peter from dronevibes.com and I'm here with a quick review of the new DJI Phantom 4. I've had this machine for about a week and was able to test most of the features, play around with it a little bit and also shoot some test footage to share with you guys. I'm gonna start with the look at the body. The drone itself is quite a bit of an improvement or redesign from the P3. It is still the same size, the material seems to be a pretty sturdy plastic. There are a few differences between this one and the previous Phantom generations. Starting with motors, the power plant is the same as the P3 or the Phantom 3. The only difference is that the motors now sit on the top of the arms and have these vents at the bottom to kind of allow a little bit more cooling. The props are similar to the Phantom 3, they're standard 945 props. The only difference is, while on a Phantom 3 you would have to screw the props on, these have more of a push and twist design that we've seen on the Inspire. You simply push down on the prop and twist it on a motor to set it in. Makes it much quicker, in my mind makes it much easier to remove props, especially in the cold weather, so that's definitely an improvement. Another thing I noticed about the body is that the gimbal dampeners are now on the inside of the body. You can probably access it by removing this gray part over here. I haven't quite frankly tried it yet. Hopefully I won't have a reason to do that anytime soon. Looking at the body itself, there are a few additional sensors compared to Phantom 3. You have the two forward sensing obstacle avoidance sensors or cameras. Then there are two more cameras at the bottom, also with the sonar sensor for the visual positioning system. The card slot hasn't really changed. The USB plug is right next to the card slot. The one cool thing is that with the Phantom 4, you get this little cable that converts your micro USB into a regular USB, and this is how you do your updates, by connecting it to your tablet or your phone and doing the firmware update through it. So nice and neat, no longer a need to make that happen through the card. The batteries have been through a little bit of a redesign. They now have about 1000 milliamps more packed in them. DJI is claiming flight time about 28 minutes. So far I've gotten about 25, so it's pretty close. The locking mechanism that you used to lock it in the machine is actually much easier to push down now, and it makes it easier to slide the battery in and remove it from the machine, again especially in a cold weather. Also, the plug on the battery has been redesigned. It now has this 10-pin connector. I would assume that each cell just gets managed individually. Probably helps a little bit more with the safety. And another thing I noticed is that the cells are layered in a way that leaves the ventilation holes in between them, so you can actually see from one side to the battery, of the battery to the other. I would assume that helps again manage the heat a little bit better in the battery. You also get a nice 100-watt charger that is now white. Looks like something that Apple made again, and it's your standard high power charger for the Phantom. The camera still includes their ribbon design, where the ribbon is exposed. I'm not sure I really like the idea of that. It seems like something that could easily break. I haven't had my Phantom 3 long enough to have an issue with this. I know a few people had, but I guess it will be okay. Now, as far as the controller is concerned, the controller is now a little bit nicer material. It reminds me very much of the Inspire controller, maybe minus some of the aluminum parts. The nice thing is that the tablet and a phone mount has now been replaced with metal as opposed to the plastic on a Phantom 3, so it's a little sturdier, it hangs in there a little better. The buttons are very similar. A couple of differences on this one. The playback button has been replaced with what's now called the flight mode pause button. And this is actually a great feature, because every time the Phantom is in some intelligent flight mode, like a tap fly or active track, and it gets in trouble, like it gets too close to things or you think you start losing it, instead of trying to get it out of the intelligent flight mode and get it on the sticks and maybe panicking and flying it into something, you can just easily hit the pause button, That stops the machine in the midair, and you can figure out what you want to do from there. So really great help. I haven't really used it for the first few flights. Then I realized how helpful it was when I was testing some of the obstacle avoidance feature. So definitely something to keep in mind. Whenever it's in an intelligent flight mode now, I keep one finger on this button to stop the machine or pause the machine, just in case something goes wrong. The flight modes. The flight mode switch has 3 positions, just like on the old controller. You have your P, which is the regular GPS mode. This mode, compared to the Phantom 3, it seems a little more sluggish. It makes the machine really docile, really slow. The next button is the S, which is the sports mode. This mode I really like. It turns the Phantom into a little racer. This thing goes really fast if you switch it to the sports mode or use it in a sports mode. The fastest I've had it so far was 45 miles an hour. And another nice little thing is, instead of having on the top of having the ground speeds there, you also get the RPM little meter or a gauge on your app screen. Using the sports mode disables the obstacle avoidance sensors, but still leaves you with the GPS and leaves you with the visual positioning system. So I dubbed it a GPS on steroids. Now the attitude mode, actually, it's just like the old attitude mode on the NASA or some of the older Phantom models. What it does, it takes away the GPS and it takes away the obstacle avoidance system. So for your $1,400, you get a Phantom 4 unit, the controller, 1 battery, a 100-watt charger, 2 full sets of propellers, a 16GB micro SD memory card, and micro USB cable for firmware updates. All this is packaged in a nice styrofoam case that can be used to transport a copter. It is definitely not your hard-shell backpack, but it is a great starter case and will keep the drone safe during transport. I would also recommend purchasing an additional battery at $169, a set of ND filters, at least ND4, 8 and 16, I would recommend the Polar Pro filters, and a controller harness. DJI offers 6 to 12 months warranty on most of the P4 components, with the exception of the frame and propellers. You also have an option to purchase a DJI Care Service plans at $299 for 1 year or $229 for 6 months, which provide you with repair or replacement credits should your aircraft get damaged in a crash. Thanks for watching. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel, check out some of our other videos. You can also visit us at dronevibes.com for more drone news, reviews and how-tos, and also listen to our free Drone Vibes podcast on iTunes and Stitcher.